Good morning, and welcome. The trailer that you just saw was for the launch of our third Ultraman DLC character, Black King, available now in Override 2 Super Mech League. And welcome. I'm Modus Community Manager, Luke, and I am honored today to be joined by two people from the studio that created Override 2. We've got Pedro and Vitor. Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello.
And before we jump into to Black King, to the Ultraman DLC characters, and showing off movesets and answering questions, I wanted to give you guys a chance just to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what it is that you do at Modus Studios Brazil. So, Pedro, let's kick it off with you.
Hey guys, my name is Pedro. I'm a 3D artist on Override 2 Modus Games Brazil. I work with pretty much a lot of 3D stuff and 3D modeling and VFX and animation for the characters in Override.
All right, awesome. And then Vitor, what is it that you do at Modus Studios Brazil?
Right. So, hey guys, my name is Vitor, and I'm one of the programmers that worked on Override 2. I'm mostly responsible for gameplay programming. So basically, when your character falls through the floor or goes through a wall or your game crashes, now you know who to curse.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks for joining me today. I'm real excited because this morning we released Black King on all platforms in our latest update. So people who own the season pass, you guys can go in, play with Black King, or you can purchase him individually as a DLC character. And so we wanted to take the opportunity to show off some of the gameplay for Black King and talk to some of the people who are behind the creation of Override 2. So if you're hanging out with us here in the chat, feel free to ask any questions that you may have about the game. If you would like to be entered for a chance to win a copy of Override 2 with all of the DLC, including the newly available Black King, you can just follow our channel and participate in chat. You'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. You can type in ! giveaway in the chat for details as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off into our training mode with Black King, and just to kind of talk about the moveset, show off what you'll be able to do with Black King in the game. So let's share my screen here. All right, so we're loading in. All right, so let's load in a training dummy so that we can kind of beat up on somebody to show. So I want to talk a little bit about the Black King moveset, so you guys can feel free to jump in with any additional insight. But, obviously we've got our basic, punches, we've got our kicks, and then we have this awesome tail whip, because obviously if you've got a giant kaiju in the game, you need to have a devastating tail whip, right?
Of course.
So those are the basic attacks, and there are a couple different modifiers when you jump and you press your left kick button. You do another tail whip, and then there's also kind of a spinning attack that you do with your right punch attack while in the air. And then as you jump into the special moves, we have the left trigger and right trigger actually gives Black King a buff. So it's going to increase his attack damage. It also is going to block the first stun for one hit, and the bonus attack damage is in effect until he takes a hit of his own. So then we've also got the headbutt move. We've got a throw move with our left throw and kick, and then we have a stampede attack as well with our right punch and right kick. So those are kind of the special moves that are available to Black King. So as you can see, really melee focused, a lot of attention on just kind of heavy hitting attacks, and then the ultimate, if we come up here, is a grab attack. It turns into a pretty devastating laser attack there. So Guys, talking a little bit about the design of Black King. Obviously, first playable kaiju in the game, Override 1, there were NPCs, like characters that you'd fight that were kaiju, but this is the first playable character. What were some of the special considerations when it comes to both, like, designing the character in-game, how it looks, and also how the character plays gameplay-wise?
Right, so Black King, he's the thing we had in mind for Black King is he has this really sturdy look, right? So fighting games have a bunch of what do we say? Styles of characters, let's say. And for Black King, we had more of a grappler type of character. So grappler characters are usually very slow, but they are extremely strong when they get up close. So that was the let's say the guiding line, let's say, for designing Black King. So Black King, besides these special moves, which are basically melee only, so at range he has basically no tools to fight against. He, to aid in these close range combats, he has a passive bonus. Every once in a while he gets a free hit on himself. He ignores stuns. That's besides the buff he can have.
Yeah, if you notice in the beginning of the match here, Black King had a blue aura around him, and there he just activated it. And that aura means he can't stand a hit without getting stunned, like a hyper armor of sorts. And so that makes him more resistant to close combat than other characters in the game.
Yeah, he still takes the full damage of the hit, but he just ignores the stun, which is already like super useful.
Yeah, and this
like
is
for trades and everything.
Yeah, and it's kind of a total 180 almost from the Bemular character design, right? Who has a lot of ranged attacks, who likes to keep distance from the opponents and stuff like that. So Black King's kind of a totally different style from even Ultraman as well. So the two other Ultraman characters that we have in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So as far as like you mentioned like when you're designing the character to be in game, it's all about sturdy. There's a lot of weight. The attacks are slow but kind of pack a really heavy punch. But one of the other things is just kind of Override being a more competitive style fighting game, although it has a lot of arcade roots in it. Making kaiju seem kind of like a looming threat. Making Black King seem like kind of a looming threat, but also understanding that he's got to be similarly sized to the other characters and stuff like that. What were some of the ways you went about designing the look of Black King to make him this like imposing figure with those boundaries in mind?
Yeah, we had a challenge in front of us because Netflix series Ultraman and the other characters are not actually giant-sized characters, so we kind of had to adapt them to make them fit with the mechs in Override game. And Black King was a special case because he is different from the other characters who have a more mechanical look. He's a guy that looks more organic, right? He's a true kaiju, the first kaiju we've developed for Override. So we had a few challenges in order to make him look like in the same universe as the other characters, but at the same time, I guess he worked better as a being of being giant and fitting better in this whole giant universe of Override. I guess that wasn't a bigger problem. Our big problem in the end with designing Black King was how to make him have interesting moves and stuff that we could use. And the combat scheme of Override, like we didn't have much of a base to work on, since he doesn't have much space in the show. He like shows up for 20 minutes in the episode, so we had to research and see if we could find what Mech King was in the past, like in another Ultraman series, and see what attacks he had and how he could fit better the gameplay in Override 2.
Yeah, well, I think he feels fun. I think he does feel quite different from the other characters that are available in the game. We do have a question in chat from Leo Grimm. He says, Black King raises one question: who of the fans is the big Godzilla fan? But before we answer that question, I will say, the Modus Studios Brazil, the head of that studio, Rafael, very big Ultraman fan. And so I think the Black King inclusion kind of started with the Ultraman fandom, but I definitely can see, it's easy to see and draw the comparisons to Godzilla, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Like Godzilla. We really like kaiju in general. We are excited for Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm personally Team Godzilla. Yeah. We are all kaiju fans here, and Godzilla is, the god.
Exactly. So we're going to jump into some free-for-all matches, and you guys are probably going to embarrass me on stream here, so I'm preparing myself for that. But any other questions in the chat, feel free to drop those in. Happy to answer those too. Awesome. So let's hop over here. I'm cool to just play on a random stage.
Yep,
we almost
cool,
have the
too.
Ultraman trifecta here, but Toasty is not in the Ultraman franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize.
Oh no, you're
Okay.
fine. No, play with who you want to play with. I also like how your name is NPC because I'm loading in like.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Right.
It's not a bot, it's me actually.
Yeah.
My name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my fault. I'm sharing my screen with you guys still. Hold on one second. Let me.
The connection is not great here, as well.
I think this might not be your fault. This kind of usually happens when we play with Pedro.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no problem. So we'll try this out. We should try this out a little before stream, but it's okay. We'll make it work. So, I mean, obviously, Modus Studios Brazil. You guys are in Brazil. Well, I'm in California. We're a little far away from one another.
Yeah.
So let's see if it smooths out a little bit.
Yeah, the ping here is not great at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. We'll play one of these matches, and if it doesn't smooth out, then we can I can hop into some matches and fight against people. We keep talking about the game. There is another big part of the patch that came out today. That is cross-platform matchmaking. So we wanted to improve queue times and allow players to play against other users more often, rather than just defaulting to playing against bots. And so if you're playing on Steam or PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or Xbox Series S or X, you're actually going to be placed all into the same queue for the different matchmaking types, so that you can play against one another. So that's pretty exciting. Should be a massive improvement for users on all those platforms. And actually, I was playing this morning and was finding matches pretty quickly as a result. So it was really cool. Do you guys have a favorite mech that you guys like to fight with in the game?
Yeah, I'm playing him right now.
So
I actually like Watchbot a lot, and Pescado. Pescado is one of my favorites since Override 1. His like the best design we ever made.
yeah, those are the two OGs.
Yeah.
I like Toast. I really like Toasty's design in the game too. Just the whole like having to keep your opponent oiled in order to kind of maximize your damage, but also the little trade-off you get because you damage yourself with some of the abilities. I think that's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, the design you had in mind for I know this stream is not about Toasty, but the design you had in mind for Toasty was exactly risk versus reward. So you damage yourself to get a bunch of bonuses. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk about any of the different mechs in the game because I think this is the first time we've had a chance to talk with you guys on stream. So any stories or cool insights you have on any of the mechs, love to hear them. And we do have Ultraman in this. Oh, I'm out. Hey, I kind of held my own there, so I'm okay with that. I did want to talk a little bit about the other Ultraman characters, though, because we have Ultraman being played right now by, that's you playing in Pedro, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, first and foremost, I want to talk about just
I lost.
What it was like to design these licensed characters and the kind of how you guys approached getting these characters into the game.
Oh, it's actually pretty cool. It's a whole new experience for us. We're used to creating the characters from ground up, right? So with Ultraman, we kind of had a lot of material to work with, and it was a new experience. It was cool and actually kind of intimidating at first, since we had to keep up with the quality that Ultraman already had, and the fans that Ultraman had, and we had to keep up with that and kind of show some the best we could do with it. So we went through all the references and watched the Netflix show a lot of times to get a reference for all the attacks and how they could fit in the game. It was an interesting work to deal with, but actually pretty intimidating also.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll try running another match here between the three of us, just so we can show off some Bemular stuff as well. So waiting on. Yeah,
me just let's see. One with.
See, I think of the three Ultraman characters, Black King is kind of the one that's right up my alley because I like Bruisers. Satesh is another one of my favorite mechs to play. So kind of Satesh has a little more range on him, but he wants to be in there, kind of brawling and dealing a lot of damage up close.
Yes, and for Bemular, like you said, he's the exact opposite of Black King. He wants his opponent as far away as possible from him, so he can use his souls as much as he can, his projectiles and things.
Yeah, and Bemular can be, if the right person is piloting Bemular, it's hard to even get close, right? Because he's got a lot of good AoE, he's got a lot of great attacks to just keep people at range. This kind of storm of lasers, I'm terrible with remembering the actual move names, but where the lasers fall from the sky can be especially challenging for characters like Satesh, like Black King, who are trying to get in up close.
Yeah. Kind of have to team up against Vitor here because he's the
Yeah, he's just going to be able to rain damage on us if we...
and he's not who we want as someone using Bemular, because he's the kind of guy who will keep pushing you to the limit.
Oh my gosh, I can't even land a ground
Yeah,
pound attack.
So there's like a running theme in the studio that I like to abuse like characters' tools. I'm like the worst person to pick the overpowered characters and things like that.
Hey, I am from the competitive philosophy that if there's a champion in the game or a character in the game that is powerful, then you should spam them as much as you can to just get as many wins as you can.
Yeah, that's Vitor's philosophy as well.
I used to be that guy, right? When I was playing competitive games, I was like, I don't want to really like abuse the thing that needs tweaked or the thing that everybody else is playing. But the more I play, I'm like, you know, pride be damned. I'm just gonna play the thing that's gonna help me win.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Because when we're playing with friends, we have more of a you manage it, right? When you're abusing the skills and stuff like that. When you're online, you really you can't think twice. You have to do whatever you can to win.
Let's see. Sitchin in the chat wants to know where the name Black King came from. So this is actually an existing character in the Ultraman franchise. So it's a licensed character that we adapted for the game. So we did not actually come up with the name Black King.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Leo Grimm wants to know, what other fighting games do you guys like to play?
So as for me, I don't actually have a lot of experience with fighting games. I did play one fighting game like a lot. I played Street Fighter 4. Like, I spent, I don't know, like 6 months straight just playing that. But usually I don't really play fighting games. So yeah.
I used to play a lot Soul Calibur and Tekken. I guess. I mean, Soul Calibur was my most played fighting game ever, I guess. I play a lot of Smash 2, Smash Brothers.
So, I played a ton of like Mortal Kombat 2 when I was younger. We actually had this like, I'm from a family of 5. We had this conversion van that had a television in it, and when we'd go on vacation, we'd hook up the Sega Genesis, and I would just like play the crap out of Mortal Kombat 2. I also play some Smash. I'm not particularly good at it by any means, but it's kind of fun to just get in and.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh yeah, Pedro plays a lot of Smash. I don't know if he still plays it, but at least for a while he did.
Oh, I was playing quite a lot when Ultimate launched, but my Nintendo Online account expired, so it's been some time since I last played. I have to get it back.
All right, let's see if we can.
Get out of here.
I kind of lost my focus in the middle of the match there and started attacking WatchBot, and not the right call.
That's okay.
Not the right call there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Tomas Perrin in the chat wants to know if there's any plans for an additional DLC season. Well, we're not quite wrapped up with the Ultraman DLC. We still have Dan Moriboshi yet to come, and so I think our focus right now is on that. So we don't have anything else with the game to announce.
No.
Oh
no!
Sniped him from a distance.
Oh shit!
Oh man!
No way.
Well, let's say I think I'm gonna share my screen out to you guys again, and then hop into queue and maybe play against some other players, just so since it's been a little choppy, let people kind of see the game at full pace. So, but keep you guys on to chat. So let me hop to Discord real quick, and let's go ahead and do a giveaway in the chat as well. So if you're hanging out and you want to win a copy of Override, just be following us and then participate in the chat, and you'll be automatically entered to win. So we'll do that in just a second here. Go live with my stream here.
Alrighty.
Awesome. I got too many windows open. All right.
So yeah, fighting games. I used to play a lot of when I was a child, right? When I was a kid, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 3, not 2. My brother played a lot of Mortal Kombat 2, but yeah. But recently, when I talked about Street Fighter 4, I meant more recently, right? When I was a kid, I played everything. Yeah, pretty much every game I'd play.
Yeah, I grew up just doing like, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat. I played a lot of like Sonic as a kid, and then it was all just sports games from then. And I have an older brother, so that's where like the competitiveness comes from. That's why I'm always like, I'm just gonna choose the thing that's good.
Yeah. I have a younger brother, and he's just like that too. Yes, that's a younger brother thing.
All right, so I'll hop into queue with Black King, and we'll roll our first giveaway here, and our winner is Sitchin. So I'll reach out after the stream to get your platform of choice. All right, so we found a match. Oh, this will be a tough matchup against Maya.
Oh. Yeah, good luck.
So Maya's all about speed, all about range, does a lot with shurikens, although this guy seems to be AFK, so we're going to get our hits in early before he comes back. Is he? Oh, well, that's too bad. This guy just, like, entered queue and then went and
He's just
grabbed
giving
some
me a
coffee.
handicap.
It's like I'm fighting against that bot in the training area. So yeah, if you guys at home own the game on, you know, any of the PlayStation platforms or Xbox, you can enter queue while I enter queue and maybe stream snipe me, because we all share a queue now in the 1v1. So press the wrong button there. So we shared a status this morning on our Modus Twitter page, at Modus_games. We do Modus Monday giveaways, where, you know, you can. Also, I dominated that matchup, by the way. All right. So, but we give away codes for games, and today we're giving away a bunch of codes for Override 2. You can go check out the details on our Twitter. But we asked our audience what mechs you would want to see in the game if we were to do a season 2 of DLC or add additional things. So I'll pose that question to you guys as well. Are there any? It doesn't necessarily have to be a mech. It can be you know, a kaiju or just another gigantic franchise character that you'd want to see in the game. Oh, did I lose you guys?
Hello? Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
So yeah, yeah. What characters would you guys love to see in Override, or do you think it would be
sorry.
designed for?
I thought you were talking to spectators. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one character I really would love to see, but it's two actually. I really love Gundam. Gundam Mechs are awesome, and Megas XLR. I don't know how to say it in English.
XLR. Yeah.
XLR, yeah. Megas XLR is a really cool mech. There is also a car. It's all tuned. It's really cool.
How about you, Vitor?
Like from other franchises.
Yeah.
So like Pedro said, Gundam has a lot of cool designs that I'd love to, play around with. There was an anime I watched a long time ago. What was it called? I forgot its name. What?
Look, I guess you're not sharing your screen in the transmission.
Oh no! Scuff streamer, guys. It's okay.
That's okay because you just lost.
Just know that I, really handed that victory to him. I wasn't trying at all. Oh man.
Yeah, it completely slipped my mind. It was an anime about like a character that controls other people, and then there were giant robots too. I forgot.
Let's see.
Oh, Thomas Perrin just said he would like to see Gurlanga. Gurlanga is some of my favorite series too. That's awesome. I really like it.
I actually want to play Contessa. Yeah, we've also got the Iron Giant. We had a couple people say the Iron Giant over on Twitter too. I thought that was a cool response.
Iron Giant. I mean, yeah, I can see it. Maybe it's yeah.
I think another obvious choice is like Megazords from Power Rangers. We were talking about how like Ultraman is kind of nostalgic for a specific generation of people, but Power Rangers is kind of the nostalgia of our generation. We got Voltron, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. That would be awesome.
Voltron's nice too. Would be a nice addition.
Yeah. The Override universe is so cool, and like the Ultraman characters being a part of it just opens it up to the imagination of what else can be a part of it. But I think we all as kids like kind of dreamed about the like giant mechs fighting one another. So it's cool to see the Ultraman characters come to life in Override, and it's cool to kind of imagine what else could be a part of it.
Yeah. During development, we also heard a lot of people that wanted Override and Pacific Rim cross-ups, like with Gypsy Danger and Pacific Rim mix. They all look really awesome too.
All right, all right. I am sharing the gameplay screen now, so up against the Fry guy. Oh. I think Contessa's another one of my favorite mechs. I think her the kid is just very interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, she's the first. One of the very first we designed even. So she's very, what's the word? Dear for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to talk about like the returning mechs because the gameplay of Override 2 is quite different from the gameplay of Override 1. Obviously, it's a lot more fast paced. It's a little more focused on comboing systems. Probably more of a traditional kind of 3D fighter than the first one was. So how did you guys approach like not necessarily redesigning but tweaking the existing characters like Watchbot, Contessa when coming to Override 2?
So Override 1, one of the major things that it had was that you could control a single character with more than one person. That is very what's the word? Limiting, because it's actually very difficult to have a character controlled by multiple people at once. You really have to like slow the pace of the game down so you have a chance to understand what's happening. Because imagine you're playing Override 2 and there's like 4 people fighting all at once. and each one is controlled by like 3 different people. It's a mess.
Mhm.
So when we approached Override 2, the main focus we wanted was a good experience for just one player controlling the entire mech, right? And that's basically it. The pacing just naturally evolved to be fast like that, and that's it.
Yeah, another issue we had with the first game too was that we didn't have much freedom while making max animation for the attacks because the animations had to deal with the fact that the mech was divided into 4 pieces, right? The body, the arms, left arm, right arm, and the legs. And so he needed to punch while he was still kicking and running and jumping and dashing and do everything at the same time. And that was a big limitation in the animation area, right? And then Override 2, one thing that we wanted is to try to still keep the feeling that you're controlling the limbs. Like we have left punch, left kick, right punch, and right kick. But we have movements that use the whole body, and we have much more expression in the attacks. The attacks are more expressive.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest difference in terms of animation and the mechanics in general, right? Well, the attack kind of stops the max and they focus all of his movement in that attack.
All right. It appears that this Rayquaza guy has returned from his coffee break and is now ready to fight.
Oh.
And then we've got a couple minutes left on this stream, so after this game, we'll give away another 2 copies of Override in the chat. So if you're hanging out with us, make sure you follow the channel and just participate in the chat. You can ask the devs a question, or comment on my amazing high-skilled gameplay here to be automatically entered.
Right. So we didn't talk much about Ultraman, the character you're playing right now. And one of his defining things, like we can take a lot of inspiration from the show, right? Because he's the main character and all. And one of the mechanics he has is that once his ultimate is charged, he has a different color. He's all in red, and that's because it is different from other characters. When he enters that state, he's faster, deals more damage, and his attacks are faster, but it only lasts for 20 seconds. So if you stay in that state, you will lose your ultimate charge. I mean, you get 20 seconds of attacking really fast and everything. That's analogous to his what's it called? Limit Breaker, I think, on the show.
Yeah,
It's basically this mode where he disables all safeguards and everything and goes all out.
Sorry guys.
Yeah, in the show he has a limiter, right? He's actually always with a limiter that when it's liberated, he can go all out with power. That's what we try to recreate with his ult. So when his ult is charged, he kind of breaks that limiter and has full power on his moves. His attacks are the more damager and are faster. But that's for just a little bit of time, so you have to pull off your special attack if you want to during that time, or else you lose it.
I keep getting baited into this counterplay from
Oh yeah, it's nice.
which is a cool mechanic of hers. If you time it right, you can kind of parry counterattack. Oh, I thought I got the grab first. So I am not piloting this nearly as well as a guy in our Discord named Ash, who is our back-to-back-to-back Override 2 Community Tournament champion, who has won it all 3 times with the Ultraman character. But another thing, I'll just mention this again. You know, we did add cross-play matchmaking to the game. So what I've just the times in between our matches have been the queue time. So and you're seeing how quickly I'm finding matches. So if you picked up the game at any point, we're having a hard time finding matchups. That problem should be alleviated now, because if you're playing on Steam or on any of the Xbox platforms or PlayStation, all added into the same queue. So Dan Moriboshi is going to be coming out soon. We don't have an official date yet for the release of Dan Moriboshi, but just make sure you're following us on social media, and you'll see when we announce. And then let's see, update to single player content for those who don't want to play online only. So, in all the different modes, you do have the option to pair up against AI driven bots within like the leagues mode and stuff like that. We didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the different game modes that are available in the game, but there are options for people who don't want to play online to play against bots in the league mode. You earn rewards, cosmetics, things like that. So we're going to draw a couple winners here, and then we're going to wrap up our stream. So if you want to be entered, make sure you're following the channel, participating in chat. And this will be for Override with all of the DLC. So I'm going to pull up the giveaway menu. Oh, that's on this computer here. So make sure so no story arcade mode like the first game. I don't think we have any plans right now of adding additional game modes into the title. So right now it's like the leagues and just being able to play against friends and multiplayer, things like that. All right, so let's roll our next winner, and it will be WebRider, who will win a copy of of Override 2 Ultraman Edition on their platform of choice. And then for our final giveaway of the day, Sir Khaled. So I'll be reaching out as soon as the stream is off to get the platform of choice from you guys, and we'll be sending out codes. Let's see. Draco Ray in the chat wants to know about Raka. Says Raka seems to be the weakest of the mechs. Are there any plans to tweak or improve it? And I guess we can kind of speak just kind of generally about how you guys approach balancing in the game, and how you assess the state of mechs.
Right. So balancing in general tends to be about like how can we adjust like timings and everything, so we can still keep the intended gameplay we designed for that mech, but still having him be stronger. Mm-hmm. We also, of course, take into account feedback from our players, and we try our best to adjust based on these two like premises.
Yeah, so if you have specific feedback on a character, you can join our Discord, discord.gg/Modus, and let us know in there. And we're always looking at feedback in there, and making assessments there. But guys, Pedro, Vitor, again, I appreciate you so much joining me for today's match. Sorry that we weren't able to get a cleaner connection for our games, but it was cool to hear you guys talking about Ultraman and the other DLC characters that are available in the game. So thank you guys again for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Luke.
Awesome. And Override 2 Super Mech League is available right now on PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5. And the first 3 of the 4 Ultraman DLC characters are available as well as a part of the Season Pass. Ultraman, Black King, and Bemular. So go check it out now. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next time, Have a good one. Be safe, and goodbye.